Hello, and welcome to the first tutorial of the year. Illustrate AI from DesignBundles has a new interface, and more features are being added this year that will allow you to generate even better images and give you more control. On the main page, click on Illustrate AI. Then you'll see two buttons, one for Start Creating and another to explore the gallery. Let's create some cool images. Even if you haven't used Illustrate AI before, you can start right away and learn about it by looking for the eye icon that shows you more information about each element on the interface. In this video, we will explore what each element does, but it's also useful in case you forget something. You can simply mouse over the eye for more information. Let's talk about the text prompt. Here you enter a descriptive text to guide the AI in generating your image. Be as specific as possible to achieve the best results. Include details like subjects, colors, mood, and setting. Keep in mind that the words at the beginning are more important than the ones at the end, so always put the subject or what is important first. Let's give it a quick test with something simple, like a cute cartoon cat, and then we'll move on to more advanced prompts. For the negative prompt, you specify what you don't want to appear in your generation. For instance, you can mention objects, art styles, or colors you wish to avoid. For example, if you don't want your cat to be white, you can add white or color white in the negative prompt. Now it's time to choose the art style you have in mind. You have a variety of styles to choose from, such as digital art, photographic, 3D, and more. If you're having trouble deciding, you can think like this. If it's a photo, go with photographic. If it's an illustration, go with digital art. The image count allows you to choose how many different images you want to generate at once. You can select from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 4 images. For size, I will choose a 1.1 ratio, which is the square format, and then I'll hit Create to start generating the image. In a few seconds, you will see a message indicating that your image has been generated successfully. As you can see, I didn't get any white cat because I had white in the negative prompt. I received a gray and an orange cat. Now, if I don't want any orange cat generation, I can simply include orange in the negative prompt. You will notice that with the same prompt, we got some gray and white cats, but none of them are orange. It's important to keep in mind that some words have more weight, so the negative prompt may not always work perfectly. Now let's make the prompt more specific. I want a white and adorable cat with green eyes, possibly with some grass and flowers in the background. In the negative prompt, I don't want the cat to be ugly, a photo, a comic, or a 3D render. I also don't want low-quality images, signatures, or words on it. As you can see, I got some nice results that match the detailed prompt. If you click on an image, you can view it in a larger size. You'll also find an arrow that allows you to navigate through all 4 generated images. Once you find an image you like, you can click the Publish button to start upscaling the image and have it published on the Illustrate AI library. You will notice a publishing button on the top left of the image, so which will turn purple and display published when it's ready for download. It's a good idea to navigate through them to see them in a larger size and then publish the one you like. Additionally, there is now an option to delete a generation. As you can see, we have only 3 images left from the original 4 generations. In this new interface, you have the option to choose how the generations are displayed. For example, you can view them as one column, but depending on your device, you might prefer one of the other arrangements. You can also use 2 columns or 4 columns, so feel free to play around and see which display works best for you. When you hover over the eye icon, you can see more information about that generation, including the date, ratio, and scale. Next to it, there is the Remix button. Let me show you how it works. If you click on it, it will copy the prompt, negative prompt, and all the settings of that generation. As you can see, the prompt has changed. If I click again on the first one, I get those settings back. If I go to an older generation, you can see that on this one, I have a long negative prompt with the one in bold as the positive prompt and the one below as the negative prompt. So now you can easily load those generation settings with the remix button. You can also see that it changed the art style, and the ratio is loaded as well. If there is nothing in the top right of the image, it's a square ratio, but if you see a purple button there, it's a different ratio, either 2:3 or 3.2, and hopefully more ratios will be available soon. You can observe that if an image is waiting to be published, it says publishing in green, and once it's published, it changes to the word published in purple. If you choose the 3.2 ratio, it will give you a landscape image as indicated by the purple icon. Clicking on the image allows you to view the entire landscape image. You can publish your favorite to obtain a big upscaled image. Now, let's switch to a 2.3 ratio to create a portrait image. More features are on the way, and soon you'll be able to upload your own image and get an interpretation of that image similar to image. Additionally, DALL-E 3 is in the plans for the future. This means that Illustrate AI is becoming more powerful and providing users with greater control over image generation. Once an image is published, you can find the purple Published button. Hovering your mouse over it will reveal 3 dots that allow you to either download or delete the image. You can also click on the image itself, which I find easier as it provides the same download and delete options. Once the image is downloaded, you can open it and use it in your projects. As you can see, it's a high-resolution image, suitable for various applications. If you select the 1:1 ratio and click the Create button, you will receive a square image. Once this image is published, you will obtain an upscaled version in JPG format with the dimensions I'm showing here. If you select the 3:2 ratio and click the Create button, you will receive a landscape image. When you download it, the image will have the dimensions I'm showing here. For the 2:3 ratio, you will obtain a portrait image with the dimensions I'm showing here when you download it. When you're talking about an image with a ratio of 2:3, it means the width of the image is 2 units and the height of the image is 3 units. Imagine you have a rectangular picture frame and the frame is 2 inches wide and 3 inches tall. If you put an image in that frame, the image would have a 2:3 ratio, meaning it's 2 units wide for every 3 units in height. So in simple terms, the 2:3 ratio for an image describes its width in relation to its height, with the width being 2 parts and the height being 3 parts. At the time of creating this video, it appears that the ratio may not be exact. Hopefully in the future, they will add more formats that can be used for platforms like YouTube and other social media without the need for cropping. Default, the standard setting offering a balanced mix of realism and artistic elements without specific style emphasis. 3D model creates images that resemble 3-dimensional models, often with realistic textures and lighting. Analog film mimics the look of traditional film photography, often with grainy textures and a slightly faded color palette. Anime reflects the style of Japanese animation, characterized by vibrant colors, exaggerated facial expressions, and stylized features. Cinematic produces images that resemble movie scenes, often with dramatic lighting, high contrast, and a sense of motion or narrative. Comic book emulates the style of graphic novels and comic books with bold outlines, bright colors, and paneled layouts. Digital art offers a clean, computer-generated appearance, often with smooth lines and a polished finish. Fantasy art creates fantastical and imaginative scenes, often featuring mythical creatures, magical elements, and otherworldly landscapes. Isometric generates images with an isometric perspective, where objects are displayed in a 3-dimensional form but without perspective foreshortening. Line art focuses on the use of lines without much shading or color, emphasizing outlines and contours. Low poly imitates a digital art style with a minimalistic approach, using geometric shapes and a limited number of polygons. Modeling compound resembles sculptures or models made from materials like clay with a tactile and malleable appearance. Neon punk combines neon colors and futuristic elements, often with a rebellious or edgy undertone reminiscent of cyberpunk aesthetics. Origami imitates the Japanese art of paper folding, creating images that look like they are crafted from folded paper. Photographic produces images that resemble real-life photographs, with realistic details and textures. Pixel art emulates the look of early digital art and video games using a grid of colored squares or pixels to create images. Tile texture generates images that resemble tiled surfaces with patterns and textures. However, currently, it doesn't create seamless patterns yet. To generate patterns or textures, you need to prompt for them specifically by including words like patterns or texture in your prompt. Enhance is similar to the default setting, but with a slight enhancement. I mostly use digital art, photographic, or cinematic styles for my image generation, but the style you choose can depend on your personal preference and the specific look you want to achieve. On Illustrate AI, if you look at the top right corner, you will find some buttons. Clicking on the Your Portfolio button will take you to your page with all the images you've published. Here it displays your username, in this case, Pixaroma, along with the total number of publishes and upvotes you've received. You can use filters to search or sort your images. These filters allow you to view only squares, horizontal or vertical images, as well as sort them by art style. You can also filter between popular and new images. On the right side, there is a share button that allows you to share your portfolio on Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. Additionally, you can click on the View Store button to access your store if you or the creators have one. In this case, it opens Pixaroma's store with all the cut files available. Finally, there is a button for Illustrate AI in the navigation bar, which you can use to return to the Illustrate AI platform anytime. If you click on the AI Library button, you will be taken to the main library where you can find all the images published by various users. Here you can search, remix, and download any image from the library, provided you have a Plus Unlimited subscription. Similar to your portfolio library, here in the AI library, you can search for what interests you or apply filters to narrow down your search and find specific images. If you come across an interesting image, like this bouquet of flowers, you can vote for it, click on it, and then either download it as it is or remix it to get a variation of the image. Notice how it takes all the settings from the original generation, such as the prompt and art style. Since you don't get the exact seed, the images you create through remixing will be variations of the original, not exactly the same. Here is a cute bunny painting. Let's see how I created it. You can check the text prompt I used and the negative prompt. Sometimes I use a short negative, and sometimes I add many words to specify what I don't want. Since I wanted it to look like a cartoon watercolor, I added words like 3D render, photographic, and comics to the negative prompt, since I didn't want any of those styles. I also included words that typically make the image less appealing, like mutated and duplicate. How much each word affects the image individually depends on the prompt, but as a whole, it usually does a good job in achieving the desired result. Now let's take another example. Here I wanted to create a wallpaper with a heart and use the photographic style to make it look more realistic. In the negative prompt, I added words like painting, comics, and other terms that could make it look less desirable. Watermark and specific words sometimes help to remove unwanted elements from the images. Here's another example of a prompt created with ChatGPT. Again, I added 3D render and photographic to the negative prompt since I wanted it to look like a painting, and it turned out really cute. In this glass, with a drink example, I wanted a photographic style, so I used cinematic since the lighting is more interesting than in a typical photographic style. Sometimes I add 3D render to the negative to make it look less artificial. Removing words that make it look less photographic can result in a more realistic image. If you need more inspiration, you can visit the AI library and search for pixaroma. Click on an image I created, go to my profile, and you can find my generations to remix and experiment with. For example, with the cute bunny, if you click on Remix to get the settings and then hit Create, you can generate variations of it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, you can find a button to watch tutorials on the Illustrate AI library. It will take you to a playlist with only Illustrate AI tutorials. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more cool videos. Have a great day.